Hello friends, it's Lisa and I'm back today with these two cards. They're pretty simple. It's not one of my usual crazy projects, but I'm trying out a new organizing system I'm doing, so I'll tell you about that in just a second. I wanted to give you a quick update. So I haven't been posting a lot this last month and a half. If you may remember, if you've watched my channel for a while, that I had a house fire back in September. Here you can see this is actually my craft room where the fire originated, and they've been rebuilding my house. So I'm supposed to move in at the end of this month, at the end of September 2018, so you can see my house is looking much better. I don't have blue countertops, that's just the tape over top. But the walls are very blue. So in getting ready for my house, I have to buy a ton of stuff because I don't actually have anything other than a bed and craft stuff and some clothes, which is taking quite a bit of my time, as well as picking out all the finishing touches. And I've been reorganizing my craft room because I got an alpha storage system for my new craft closet. I'll do a whole video about that, no worries. But I've been organizing, and see my little swatches there. That's what I've been doing. Oh my gosh, it has taken so long. I never thought I had this many different kind of media, but I do. Apparently I do. So I got these really cute diamond press dies on the last HSN craft day, and I've wanted to use them so bad. Well, I'm literally, as I'm talking right now, I have been working on my swatches. I just finished my brusho one, so I'm letting a few dry while I do this voiceover. Then I'll move on to my next set of swatches. Oh my gosh, never ending. But when I first started, I had done my ink pads and a few other things. So I used them to come up with this color combo, which is the whole point to doing all the swatches, right? So I thought, well, I better see if this actually works out. So the first color you'll see is the Distress Oxide Shaded Lilac. Since I really like doing mixed media projects, I am not delineating different types of products. So I'm not doing just my ink pads in one group or just my dyeing pads in one group. I'm doing everything. You got my Copic markers, you got watercolor, paint, acrylic paint, just everything all together. It's going to be in rainbow order. I haven't finished, so it's somewhat in rainbow order. Here's the second color, which is the regular Distress ink in the chipped sapphire color. And I really wanted to be able to see if I could use colors together, different mediums together. I wanted to see if this would work. So right now I have quite a few more of these swatches done, but at the time that I picked out these swatches, I'd really only had a few of the swatches made. That's why you got mostly ink pads in this one. But you'll see in a minute how I really use how I use Copic markers with the ink pads. Here I'm using the new Distress Oxide color Old Paper, which I really like. It does look like old paper, but it also has this nice green hue. So I'm going to take that same ink pad after having blended it on and use the linen background stamp from Tim Holtz. I don't remember the exact name. I have it though, and I'll link it down below. It's an older stamp set. But one of the other things I've already done, I did this first, is I cataloged and organized all my dies, stamps, stencils, everything like that, created a database on my computer, which is amazing, and I will totally have a new video coming up about that. I'm working on that one as we speak, but I did that, and I thought that was going to be the hardest thing, but it wasn't. The swatching has. Anyway, Otherwise, I'm also using this new metallic gilding wax from Crafter's Companion. I also got on HSN Craft Day just a few weeks ago that I really wanted to try. It does not stamp. Lesson learned, it doesn't stamp. If you really glob it on there, you can get a little bit, you'll see that, but not a whole lot. So I didn't go in because I didn't feel like getting my fingers smudgy again, but I could have, after I die cut, actually gone through the edges and kind of gilded the edges of those leaves. I just didn't do it. Another purchase on HSN Craft Day was the Gemini Go. And you'll see it's actually running off of that external battery pack because I didn't feel like plugging it in because I'd have to crawl under things and like get to the wall and stuff. I didn't feel like that. So I just plugged it into this little power thing that I bought. You have to buy a specific kind, and I think it's 12 volts, 1.5 amps, or something like that. I'll have a video about it when I do talk about this Gemini Go, but I got the Gemini Go because I really like the big Gemini. And I'm going on a crafty cruise in February, so I thought this would be perfect for that. And I really like it. I also like it just for regular crafting because you can do your smaller dies, which a lot of them fit perfectly in there. So I've die cut all of the leaves. The one thing I should have done is put them through the Create a Sticker before I die cut them, but lesson learned. I have that stamp set. I haven't talked about it because I don't actually use it. I decided to use this Amen die cut from the Diamond Press Faith dies. Really, this video isn't about the dies. I really like them, but it's more about the process of using those swatches. You could see that I was able to pick out a few colors that looked good together before even starting this. So as I'm going along, it's looking great together, and I'm not worried about it. You can also see my fingers there from all the swatching I've been doing. But that's what I wanted to stress here. That was what I was so excited about. Here I'm going to use this V01 color and color some cardstock. I don't have very many papers that are colored. I have some Tonic specialty paper that I like a lot, but I don't actually have a whole lot of just colored cardstock. So I used this marker to actually create some on some Nina Solar White cardstock. I think it's the 80 pound. It's definitely the 80 pound. So I just colored it on. If I'd wanted it perfectly smooth, I would have gone through another time or two, but I'm going to use that same stamp set again and stamp over it with the seedless preserved regular distress ink this time. So I'm really able to do the mixed media technique of using multiple different media, but I'm still getting a really clean and simple, especially simple for me, look, which is exciting. So I've used all the different colors and stuff I'm going to use. I think the next thing I want to do after I get into my house after I get everything organized and after I get back into my house, I'm going to create some kind of database or catalog of different ways to create card toppers. So I don't know if you've seen on Pinterest, but you can find the card designs where it's not like an actual card. It just shows you, oh, here, put a circle here, put the sentiment here, that kind of thing. I'm going to try and do that because I think merging what I've done here with my swatches along with that will make making cards so much more simple. It'll take a lot of the issues that I have are I pick colors that don't actually really work together. Oh, here's a good tip. See all those tiny little die cuts? I stuck them to that masking paper just to hold them while I work so I don't lose them. Anyway, I'm also going to cut out some of this foam that has sticker stuff on the front and the back. So it's double-sided adhesive with foam in between, if that makes sense. I ran it through my Gemini Go, easy peasy. It cut it out like butter. So no worries there. I think that next time I would even just put the paper on and then die cut it. I honestly think it would die cut perfectly well like that. So I've sped this part up really fast just because I have issues. I didn't take the backing paper off of the purple Amen, so I have to pull it off and then pull that paper off and redo it. I just slowly lined it up and you get it. I got it pretty well, so. But I think I would just put the paper on next time. Just because the Gemini Go, I think, could handle it. Depending on your die cut machine, you'd need to think about it. So, there we go. It was such a quick and simple card. I ended up making two because I had some extra stuff. You'll see the second one in just a minute. One thing I do want to note to you though, in the final pictures, you'll see that I put some bling and some small pearls on the card. I actually make a mistake on the second card where you'll see the two little lead points are kind of not hidden by the Amen. And so I ended up going ahead and putting those on. I didn't film that part. I think I was listening to a book on tape, so I didn't want to stop. So I just glued them on and I didn't video it. But I did the typical sets of 3. Well, I did sets of 3, the bling, and then I added 2, what are they called? Little pearls to each set of 3. Just so that it would have an odd number of 5 and it would be super cute. There we go. And I put them on this card as well just because I had them out. So I decided to do the inlaid die cut of the heart. And with that, I had to cut out of this card topper. So I used my big Gemini for that with the junior plates. There were 3 sizes of Crafter's Companion Gemini electric die cutting machine. They're manual, but they use electricity. You don't have to crank it. Anyway, there's the full-sized, the junior, and the Gemini Go. I have the full-sized in the Gemini Go. I do not need the junior. I just take the junior plates and put them through my Gemini. The big Gemini works perfectly. Plus, it goes faster than the Gemini Junior would go, and it's just easier. I would just say, if you are interested in getting a Gemini, I get the full-size one. If you're interested in getting the small one, I would also say get that one. But the junior seems kind of pointless to me, to be honest. I like it if that's the size of all the stuff that you do. If you don't do anything bigger, then totally go with the junior. It'll do everything you need. But if you do want to do bigger things, it's good to have the big one. So here I'm using my Xyron adhesive runner. I should have put more because I get a little bulging at the top in between the heart and the little exclamation points. I put some glue on there and it closed it down, but if I'd actually used the adhesive runner, it would have been easier. Then I did run the purple paper through the Xyron Create a Sticker machine before die cutting it, so I take that off and just stick it down. Then I think if I'd done this again, I might use a little bit of the chipped sapphire with a ink blending tool before I put the purple heart in, the dark purple heart in, just so that it would have been a little bit darker, maybe given a little bit more definition. Just a thought. So then I glued those 2 leaves down with my Xyron Create a Sticker. I had to erase some of the stuff. That's just normal. That's what you have to do if you don't do it before you die cut. That's why I suggest do it before you die cut. But that card is done. You will, like I said at the end, earlier, at the end, you'll see that I did add a few little bling dots, but that's about it. This is my second card. So here I'm die cutting the Amen again, and then I'll have to run the 3 other parts through my Xyron Create a Sticker machine. I have 2. I have the 2.5 inch and the full 9 inch Xyron Create a Sticker. The 2.5 inch is really nice to do small things like this. The 9 inch is really nice when you're doing big things. Xyron is definitely my favorite adhesive, dry adhesive to use in whatever form. I have the Mega Runner, the 2 inch Create a Sticker, and the 9 inch Create a Sticker, and I like all of them. I use them all the time. So I have cut the backer material just a little bit to kind of decide where I'm going to put things. I'm not sure I got it exactly perfectly, but I was close enough that it looked good. So here you'll see I'm still trying to pull out some of that sticker material from in between the leaves. That's what I'm doing right there. Now here I'm able to actually, it would have gone off the page if I hadn't rotated that, but I rotated it and it looked great. Here I did not, this is where I made my mistake and did not take the time to really place it properly. So I missed the bottom of that leaf, and that's why I went ahead and added the little bling. I guess that's really it. Here you can see the bling I was talking about in the end product. So I'm going to have a ton of videos coming up. It may be I only get 1 video per week. That's kind of my goal right now through mid-October, but then I should be back up and running by then, and the 3rd week in October I expect to be back to my average of about 2.5 videos per week. To all my new followers or subscribers, whatever, thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited to meet y'all and create more videos for you. Thanks for hanging in there, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye.